What's up, YouTube? It's Taurus Gaming here, and I just got done playing Life is Strange Episode 5. I have to say that was one hell of an episode, and one hell of a series in general. It's one of my favorite games, and it will continue to be one of my favorite games for a very long time. Thank you, Dontnod, for making this amazing game, because you have given myself and the rest of the gaming community a masterpiece. So thank you. With that being said, I want to talk about my time playing Episode 5, and I want to talk about how I feel about it, my experience. It just blew me away with everything. I mean, first off, using the photos once again to go back in time and try to save ourselves from Mr. Jefferson, who I was wrong about. It was him. He was calling the shots the whole time. I expected him to be a total pawn of the whole thing. I'll be honest. I really expected him to be a total pawn. I was way off. I was completely wrong about that. It turns out he was actually using Nathan, and in the end, I actually ended up feeling bad for Nathan because he was used, and he didn't realize what he was doing. Like, he didn't understand that because he had mental issues, and I feel for that. I feel bad for him because of that. If things were a little bit different, if he had like a better mental state, he probably wouldn't have done those things. He wouldn't have killed Amber or Rachel Amber, and he was being manipulated and twisted by Mark Jefferson. So, in the end, I can't really say I hate Nathan, even after everything he ended up going through and doing to us in the series. He's one of those problem children who he was just trying to like he was the victim, even though he didn't act like it. You know what I'm trying to say? He wanted to be popular, and he wanted to have friends and all that, and he wanted to have a real father figure and all these other things because he grew up basically a broken family who just happened to be well off with riches and all, So I kind of feel like he deserves a little bit of sympathy and pity because his whole life was basically screwed up because of Mark Jefferson. And wow, And David Madsen, I kind of figured he was going to be a good person. I think, like, when I first played Episode 2, I thought to myself, oh, well, watch David Madsen end up being a good person or something. I called that one, at least. I called that and Frank. I called those two being a good person. Now, when I got to the diner, after I figured out how to save it, of course, I actually had to, I'll be honest, I had to look up a couple things, like how to stop Jefferson from killing David when he went in to save us. Max, I should say. I actually had to look up because I'm really dense and blind with these choices. I didn't even realize I could trip the light or kick the the tray into Jefferson. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I just kind of watched them fight. I didn't realize I was supposed to do something there, and then when I realized I was supposed to do something, I couldn't figure out what, because nothing came up on my screen, I probably just didn't notice it. That's probably my fault, I'm not going to blame the game or anything like that. It was probably my fault, but when I did eventually figure things out, I figured out that I was supposed to put the sand on the oil to keep the diner from blowing sky high. And let's see, what happened after that, Right, I saved pretty much everybody, I could, I think, I'm 100% sure it said I did anyway. And then I told David the truth, and he killed Mark Jefferson. Bravo for that. I don't regret that decision one bit, and I wouldn't go back and make any other decision. I would never do that, because I love that decision. Although, he probably would have been wiped out with the storm. Yeah, I should have just let him get... Whatever, but who cares, you know? The fucker is dead. And that's all that matters. We've seen him get arrested several times and die all in one episode. And that was honestly pretty satisfying for me. But, let's see. Give me a sec. Right. I told Warren about, my little powers and all that. I did all that. I don't think there's any other decisions with him, regarding him, other than I hugged him instead of kissed him, because I ship Chloe and Max mad hard. You guys already know this, because I think I stated it in my last video. I ship them hella fucking hard. I love the idea of Max and Chloe as a thing, as a love pairing, you know? Warren can have Brooke. I ship Warren and Brooke, not Warren and Max. Brooke and Warren, like, literally deserve each other in my eyes. But, anyway, I told Frank about Rachel Amber, and he appreciated that. I told Joyce, I never even got a chance to tell Joyce about Chloe dying. It wouldn't give me any option. I would have, you know, just because she deserved to know. It's her mother, and we're gonna save her anyway. Like, really. So then after that, does my hat look okay, by the way? I'm sorry, I hate to be ADD here, but, let's see. And then after that, of course, I hugged Warren. I went back in time. I warned Chloe. We got out of there safe. And then I woke up, Max woke up on the beach with Chloe. And then Max passed out again, and then she had that whole Freddy Krueger style nightmare bullshit. Like, I was playing that, and I was tripping fucking balls. I swear to God, not actually tripping balls, but it made me feel like I was tripping balls. Because I sat there, and I'm like, this is some fucking Freddy Krueger type of bullshit, man. Like, there was blood just splattering on the window from birds apparently rushing into it. And I'm just like, the fuck is this Freddy Krueger nightmare bullshit? Up until that point, I didn't even realize it was a nightmare. I thought it was just a time loop, like Chloe said, but then the blood, and I'm like, we're fucking dreaming. This is a fucking nightmare. We're having a nightmare. And then Jefferson came up, or no, I saw the blood on Kate's desk where she sat, and that's when it hit me. This is some Freddy Krueger type of bullshit. This is some Freddy Krueger nightmare shit. Like, and then it's turned into like the fucking Silent Hill PT with the fucking hallway all of a sudden, you know? We're going through doors. I don't know how I figured that out so easily. One minute, I'm dressed as Rachel Amber, right? Or 1 minute I'm dressed as Max. I go through Kate's door. I'm in Rachel Amber's clothes. I look at the map. Rachel Amber is on the map, her room. And I'm like, wait. I'm dressed as Rachel Amber. Maybe I should try to go through her room. Because I figured this out after looping through a couple rooms. I looped through, I think, Dana's room. And I looped through another room. Until I finally figured out, wait. Maybe I should go through Rachel Amber's room. That was, of course, after I got the keys and all, blah, blah, blah. And then I became Victoria. So I went through her room. And then I'm Max again, so I went through Max's room. And then I'm back in the school and everything's backwards and they're talking backwards. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell? That was kind of hilarious. Look was spelled backwards. Brooke's name was spelled backwards. Everything was so backwards. Like, ugh. It was... I thought, like, what the fuck is this nightmare? What the... Max, did you hit a thing of, like, LSD or whatever? I don't do drugs, so I don't know if that's proper terminology. I'm sorry, stoners, but, yeah. Anyway... But then after that, you know, it got into the deep shit. Like, she was back in the darkroom in her, like, pajamas. And there was Jefferson and Chloe. And then Chloe was talking all sorts of shit. The thing she was saying and all that. It just, that kind of I kind of took a hit with all that. You know, it was a little heartbreaking, honestly. A, she's my favorite character, and B, I ship Max and Chloe mad hard, like seriously fucking hard, and that just was like really sad. Chloe and Warren, I didn't like that either. You know, that part, just go fuck yourself. Really, just go fuck yourself on that one. Uh, and then after that, I think was just Chloe by herself, or was it Chloe and Victoria? Either way, I was a little talking about. And then, you know, we had that conversation with Max. Chloe shows up out of nowhere, tells past Max to suck a dick and fuck off. Not really, but, you know, basically. And then all of a sudden, we're taking a trip down memory lane through all the events, the major events that happened throughout episodes 1 through 5. And, you know, a lot of them, you know, brought back sweet memories. A lot of them brought back some painful ones from playing the game, because let's face it, this game is very emotionally enticing, and I have to say, that's one of the things I really enjoyed about Life is Strange, how emotionally involved it can make you, you know. And eventually, it ended with Max headed up to the lighthouse, and she woke up. And that's when all of a sudden, you know, Max and Chloe go back and forth, and Chloe, like, she brings out the picture, the very first picture you ever take in the game, aside from the selfie, I mean, of the butterfly on the bucket in the bathroom, and you get a choice here. This is the ultimate decision for the whole game, and it's basically you choose, do you want to undo everything you've done from episodes 1 to 5, or do you want to keep those options? Now, I personally, the two choices were to sacrifice Chloe in order to save Arcadia Bay, and thus the tornado, hurricane, whatever, superstorm would not happen. Or you could choose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, and Chloe and Max would have a happy ending with each other. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you can all understand what decision I made, knowing what I've already told you, how I feel about Max and Chloe, and, you know, other things in general. You know, I personally felt like, yeah, some of the people in Arcadia Bay, they didn't deserve to die. They most certainly did not deserve to perish in that hurricane. And in my head canon, the choice that I made to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, in my head canon, the characters who were important mattered. They survived. Obviously, Victoria died no matter what. In my head canon, Warren, Joyce, and Frank lived. I mean, the two Whales diner did get destroyed, but they were able to avoid being killed. In my head canon, that's just my head canon. Keep that in mind. Along with Chloe and Max, of course, because I ship them. And if you go and read Chloe or Max's diary during that cutscene, you'll see Max's true feelings for Chloe. She truly is in love with Chloe. She was in love with Chloe the whole time, and that like love started to really be fertilized, or what's the word I'm looking for? Ferment, I think is the word I'm looking for. I could be very wrong on that, but basically she started to more and more as she went on. She realized her feelings for Chloe, and she truly loved Chloe, and that in my mind, it goes with my headcanon of Chloe and Max. I let that ship sail, okay? There it goes. It's off in the distance now. It's out in the ocean. It's there. The ship has sailed. I shipped it. There you go. UPS, motherfucker. I do not regret my decision. I do not regret my decision because in my mind, in my heart, that is the decision that I wanted. That is the decision that I felt personally was the true ending of Life is Strange. Obviously, I've heard talk that Don't Nod wanted the other ending for you to sacrifice Chloe. That's the ending they wanted all along, the producers and developers of the game. Don't Nod. I think they're just the developers, but I think that's what they wanted. They wanted Chloe to get sacrificed for the greater good. I didn't want that. That's not my ending. I chose my ending. You guys all chose yours. At the end, it was 47% to 53 on Steam. So it was almost 50-50. I was in the lesser of the two. I'm glad, however, that I'm not in such a minority of the vote. You know, obviously I'm not in the majority, but it was still close enough to where it was nearly 50-50. And that's great, in my opinion. You know, there are other people, lots of other people who chose the same ending that I chose, and that makes me feel a little bit better. Not that I have to. Again, I do not regret that decision. So, Chloe and Max, they ride off into the distance, and that's where it all ends. And Don't Nod has already stated if they come up with a season 2, it's going to be completely different characters. Honestly, I don't know what kind of choices I would make in a season 2 if they, or even what kind of a storyline Don't Nod would come up with for a season 2. But if they do make a season 2, you bet your ass I am playing it, because Life is Strange had to be one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. I have been playing since I was practically in my mother's fucking womb. So I know a thing or two about good quality games, and let me tell you guys, Life is Strange is one of the best in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion. You know, feel free to disagree. You're wrong. You can have your opinion, but it's gonna be wrong. I'm just kidding, obviously, but I really like Life is Strange. I'm happy with how I had it end, and I know a lot of people probably might disagree. So with that being said, down in the comments below, I want you guys to share what ending you guys got, and whether or not you are satisfied with that ending. If you regret it, if you think you should have gone back and made the other ending, just tell me what your first ending was, and whether or not you went back to change it because you didn't like it. I personally, I chose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, and I did not go back, and I do not intend to go back, because I am happy with my decision. I am fully satisfied with that ending. So with that being said, I guess this is kind of like a mini review. If I had to actually give this a score, the series as a whole, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. Almost perfect, but of course, obviously, no game is perfect. There's always flaws in it. For one, in episode 5, I think Warren believed Max a little too quickly. And no matter how smitten he is, no matter what kind of bullshit has been going on, I still think there should have been like a couple moments of disbelief. But, you know, regardless, 9.5 out for the whole series. For episode 5, I have to say at least a 4.8. At least a 4.8, because it was really good. It was emotionally heart-wrenching. It was such an intense episode, and I cannot state that enough times. Let me know what your guys' decision was down in the comments below and what your thoughts on the episode were. I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace the fuck out.